Jimmy, thank you very much for today's confession. Simon, my story goes back to the year 2000. I was working as a cheese grader down in Somerset.
A cheese grader?
A cheese grader, yes. It was and still is a great job, as the job entails travelling around the world eating cheese. So on this particular day back in 2000, I left work late one morning to fly to Cork mid-afternoon to grade some cheese. That's what I had to do. The journey to the airport was good. I reached the airport in good time, checked in and sat down for about an hour. So before I needed to board, all was good with the world. The tannoy announcement rang out and asked all the people flying to Cork to proceed to the gate. At this point, I thought, I should probably have a wee now. Or shall I wait till I board?
Yeah, wait till you're bored. Yeah.
I'm fine. I thought I'll wait till I board.
Yeah, nothing's going to go
Do you know
wrong
where
there.
this is? We boarded the flight and I was relaxed. The pilot started to taxi away from the gate towards the runway, but after a couple of minutes stopped the plane and said that we'd been asked to hold due to some weather issues in Cork. Are you all right, madam?
No.
I've got some weather issues. We sat for an hour or so until we took off, but then up and away we were off. I was glad we'd taken off, as the seatbelt signs had been left on whilst we were sat on the plane, and now I was thinking, I could really do with that wee. As we reached our altitude, I was waiting for the seatbelt sign to go off, but the weather was poor, hence the delays, and the turbulence meant that the seatbelt sign stayed on. The pilot advised that as the flight was only 40 minutes, the weather was poor, he would be keeping the seatbelt signs on, so please could everyone stay in their seats. Well, okay, I'll have to go when I get to the airport at the other end. We landed safe and sound, and I was off to get my overnight bag from the carousel. As I walked through customs, I saw Dave, who was collecting me, frantically waving. I rushed over and said, "What's up, Dave?" He said, "I'm okay, but the Garda, the police are pestering me, and I've parked illegally to pick you up, so let's crack on before I get a ticket." So he rushed across to his car, and yet again, I had not taken my chance to have the wee I had promised myself.
Oh, no.
Well, Dave proceeded to tell me that he had asked two of the cold stores that we were due to go to that day to stay late to allow us to still see the cheese, even though I was delayed. We got to the first store where a couple of warehouse guys were waiting in the car park, and with only one cold store door open, they clearly wanted me in and out quickly so that they could go home. I thought not a good idea to ask where their toilets are, as these guys want me gone. The same happened at the next stop number 2. Anyway, back in the car, I was getting desperate. Should I ask Dave to stop? Well, clearly the answer is yes.
Yes,
No,
you
I
make
thought,
sure.
the hotel is only 20 minutes away, I'll make it. The traffic was slow into Cork City. We arrived later than planned at the hotel. I left Tom's car hurriedly. I walked into the hotel lobby and I saw the toilet just beyond the reception desk. When I look back, I cannot fathom why I thought the following, but I thought, you've made it all this way, holding it in. Why don't you wait till you get to your room and then you can have a wee?
Wait.
I checked in at the desk, trying to act as calm and collected as I could, but it was now starting to hurt. Once checked in, I walked to the lift as best I could, pressed the button.
Oh, dear.
It probably only took 30 seconds for the lift to ping, to tell me it had arrived, but that felt like an eternity. And then bizarrely, it took another 30 seconds for the lift door to actually open. This was a very old lift, and I jumped in. I was on my own. I pressed the button for my floor, and as soon as the door shut, I was able to make that leg-twisting, doubling over, jumping kind of move that everyone does when they're trying to hold it in, but you can't do that in public. The lift reached my floor and pinged, and I had my room key and my overnight bag ready for the sprint to my room, but the door stayed shut. I was in turmoil and now starting to sweat. I was crossing my legs frantically one way and then the other. I did that kind of jumping motion like a Morris dancer. At the same time, I'm swearing and cursing at the expletive lift for the expletive doors to open. I knew shouting and swearing wasn't going to help, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
Then, to my complete confusion and disbelief, and more importantly horror, I heard a polite cough behind me. One of those coughs to make you aware that you're not alone. Well, of course I'm alone. I thought I got into this lift on my own. It hasn't stopped anywhere. Slightly confused, I turned around, only to realise it was one of those lifts.
Yeah.
The doors had opened on the other side.
Oh, no.
I looked up to see the lift's doors had opened, and looking into the lift at my antics stood the most angelic family of mum, dad and 2 young children. I was embarrassed and distraught. If the earth's core could have swallowed me up at that moment, I wanted it to happen. I walked out of the lift and tried to smile and look normal, but by the look on Mum and the children's faces, the damage was done. Dad looked confused, but Mum and the children looked shocked and scared. One child started crying as I walked out of the lift, and I heard him say, "Mummy, why was that angry man jumping and shouting at the lift?" I was mortified by my performance as I made my way, at last, for my now seemingly unimportant wee. Father Simon, lovely team and listeners, I asked for forgiveness not from Dave, who I was far less chatty to than normal, or either set of warehouse staff I kept late, but I asked for forgiveness from the angelic family who witnessed this distressing sight and heard such language from my potty mouth. I have tried to visualize what this must have been like for them, and only now realize that it probably looked even more weird and worse and more shocking from the rear view that they had. Please, angelic family, if you're listening, I would love you to forgive me. Well, let's see what our team make of this. Sister Susie,
Jimmy.
we've all been there, kind of.
Yeah, well, that really made me laugh, and I thought you were going to get stuck in the lift. That's where I thought this was going, and I'm really glad that you weren't stuck in the lift, because that would have been...
We have to go in the corner.
Awful.
That's
yeah, it's just not good,
all
is
those
it?
Electrics.
You know, in his bag, and anyway,
In his bag. In his bag. I hadn't thought of that.
But, and I've just got one thing. How did he not hear the lift? Because when it opens, even if it's behind you, it would have pinged open.
He was too
right?
busy shouting and swearing.
Yeah, okay. But you maybe should have realised the door opened, but we've all been there. I definitely have, and I'm going to forgive you on this occasion.
Brother from the gutter.
That got better with the bag. That was so much better with the bag. We're deep in sitcom territory here, aren't we? This is the bit where the central character is too polite to ask to be able to go to the loo, and it goes the entire episode. It's really, really
Yes,
good.
very good.
I am definitely going to forgive for the in the bag reference, but also because Jimmy was turning the blue cheese. Yes! Turning the blue
Is that it?
cheese.
Is that what we've been gearing up for?
That's where it's been going. Blue cheese.
Yeah?
Turning the blue cheese. Yeah, works brilliantly. Very happy with it.
Okay,
Definitely
well, as long
forgiven.
as you are.